is going on, everybody? This is Gabriel Jones giving you a drop of sun any chance I get. And today we're going to be reacting to the brand new Rae Jepsen album called The Loneliest Time. It's quite amazing the type of reputation Rae Jepsen has built over the last decade. She took the world by storm with Call Me Maybe, and while she never achieved a hit that huge again, she still became a huge icon within the pop scene. Releasing Emotion, which became a huge cult classic, and producing underground hits such as Run Away With Me and I Really Like You. Then releasing another instant classic, Dedicated, which I personally enjoy a little bit more. Sorry to the Emotion fans. She really has been an underdog in music for so many years, and you have to admire just how consistently good her material has been. Of course, being a huge sucker for CRJ myself, I had to check out this new release. So much that I'm sort of skipping out on another major pop release that happened this week, so yeah. I pledge loyalty to my Canadian queen. Of course, before we get into the music, I want to advise everyone to leave a like and comment for this video because the more engagement the video receives, the more likely it'll be picked up in the algorithm, so I thank y'all for that. And without further ado, it is time for The Loneliest Time. Track number 1, Surrender My Heart. Enjoying the build-up right there. Oh man, this sounds like it was a devastating split. Promising to do better in the relationship. I like it. Almost hits you like a fucking bomb right there. Yeah, you know, I can imagine how nerve-wracking that would be. With you! He just hit that falsetto very nicely. Ooh, and now we got like the chanting choir backing her up. Okay, so that was Surrender My Heart, and yeah, a pretty decent way to open up the record. Carly is singing about how she's been hurt by so many relationships that she feels a little bit anxious to enter this new one. But as she's attended therapy and has done some self-reflection, she's really mustering the strength to sort of give this a go. She's feeling confident enough to let this guy meet her not-so-perfect family. And it seems that they're actually building a sort of bond. That's extremely touching, and I think it's something a lot of her listeners can sort of relate to because a lot of her fans may not be able to really enter a new loving relationship because of some past heartbreaks. You know, it sort of like leaves you a little bit scarred, but once you take that first step, you can take another one forward, and soon you will find yourself in a place where you can feel loved again. And of course, the music is very all lovey-dovey. I really do feel sort of warm when listening to it. All the synths are nicely constructed. I really like the beats. And of course, that chanting choir at the end really gets to me. It's a very cute song, and is very on brand for Rae Jepsen, so there you have it. Track number 2, Joshua Tree. That guitar plucking right there kind of feels a little ominous. I like how it's perfectly setting a scene. The desert lights. Ooh, it kind of has like a bass line drop, so reminiscent of Attention in some way. That night imagery is just so on point in this song. That nightly imagery. Her voice really like builds up an intensity on that chorus, and it's very fascinating. Okay, so that was Joshua Tree, and that one is a very fascinating song to say the least. What really stands out to me with this track is, of course, the atmosphere. You know, Rae is driving in the nights. You know, she's in the middle of the desert, somewhere in California, assumingly. And it's just wrapped in this sort of mysterious, you know, sort of atmosphere. And according to some of the annotations, she's specifically talking about Joshua Tree National Park, which is, in fact, located in California. And it is fascinating how she's sort of singing about going to this specific location during the nighttime because she's just so stressed out by everything that's going on around her that she just needs to get away for a little bit. I don't think it strikes me as a song about romance, which is what Carly Rae is very much known for. It just seems to be a song about finding her inner peace and just really having some time to herself. Of course, what really ties a lot of this together is the bass line drop of the chorus and the guitar plucking and just some really distinct sort of drumming. And Carly Rae certainly has all that pleading and desperation in her voice that really just gives a wonderful performance. I think this one is pretty fascinating. I don't know if I would say it's better than Surrender My Heart, but you know, it sort of vibes with me. Track number 3, Talking to Yourself. This one I've played so many times already. It was released before the album came out, but of course I always like to listen to it within the context of the record. That drumming with that bass line just gets to me. I kind of like that line, you know, are you thinking of me whenever you're making these decisions to see other people? Yeah, it sounds like this guy kind of did her wrong a little bit. And you can definitely hear a lot of sadness in her singing performance, you know, she's upset that this relationship didn't work out the way she wanted it to. That little guitar solo right there. Nicely done. Ooh, just love how it just kicked right back in like that. It's so cool. Okay, so that was Talking to Yourself, and I still really like that track. Although I am digging a lot more into the lyrics for the very first time. It seems that Carly Rae is singing about this guy that she was with for a while, but then things just kind of like evaporated in terms of romance and affection. And it seems like he eventually left her for another girl, and Carly is just demanding that he sort of thinks about her whenever he's with this other girl. That the guilt of not making things work out with their romance sort of haunts him when he's with a new girl. That's why the song is called Talking to Yourself, because while you're making all of these decisions for what to do with your love life, I want you to keep me in mind and all the failures that you put into this relationship, because I hope that they affect how you navigate your love life this point onward. I sort of like how the chorus is constructed here, because she's saying, are you reaching for me, making love to someone else? Do you talk about me when you're talking to yourself? And eventually, towards the end of the chorus, it's like, talk to me when talking to yourself. Because it's like, you know, before it was sort of like a question or a request, but now it's sort of like a demand, you know? It's sort of like, I want you to think about me when talking to yourself. It's very subtle in its lyricism, but I think it's very effective. And of course, the sound is just incredibly beautiful, you know, the guitar solo after the second chorus, you know, the sort of build up at the beginning, and the way it all just sort of becomes like a huge bombastic production during that chorus is just it's just incredible. It's definitely gotta be my favorite song from this album, and I still have so much fun with it. I'm probably gonna listen to it way more once this video is done being recorded. Track number 4, Far Away. I'm really liking this percussion right here. Sounds like he was a broken boy from this romance, you know? A lot of guilt wrapped up in his system. She really wants to, though, have that, you know, touch of a human being, you know, emotionally and physically. Is that a cello of some kind right there towards the end of the verse? Because it's a nice little touch. Yeah, this has a very calming sort of tone to it, you know? Sort of like you're just lying in your bed, you know, just getting all cozy within the blankets. And now it's sort of like you're soaring through the sky as she's singing this bridge during the calming night atmosphere. Ooh, that little whistle right there. Okay, so that was Far Away, and yeah, I sort of like that one quite a bit. I'm assuming that Carly Rae is singing about this romance that's sort of headed south at one point, but she wants to give it another go, and she's sort of asking this guy to introduce himself to her as if it's for the very first time. On the chorus, she's sort of pleading for him to sort of like stay close to her, you know, not far away, you know? We really need to get this conversation going, and the more we try to, you know, really connect with each other, the better. There's a real sense of intimacy within this track, and I really appreciate the sort of closeness that she's sort of, you know, projecting here. The percussion at the beginning was very well done. I think I heard a cello at some point during the verses, which is a very nice touch once again. And the pleading within her voice is just so admirable, you know? She's just really displaying so much emotion in her voice. It's a very subdued kind of track, but it's something that really puts you at ease, you know, calming your anxiety. and I appreciate that from Carly Rae. Track number 5, Sideways. Sounds like you should stop drinking coffee. Woo! The harmonizing of those melodies right there. Ugh. These synths are just so joyous in the way they're constructed. I love it. She's just in a pure fantasy at the moment. And those chimes are just majestic. You know, it's sort of like she's singing in the rain. And now we just have the chipper little outro where Carly just does a little doing and dying. Okay, so that was Sideways, and that's a fun little track to listen to. Carly Rae singing about how ecstatic she is whenever she gets to visit her loved one and how much joy it brings her. Even when there's a bump in the road, she still finds a way to keep her head held up and keep her eyes on the prize. It's a very happy sort of little song, you know, something that could really fill your heart with so much wonder. Of course, the synth work is very impressive, and I love the drumming. There's also a great sense of atmosphere to it. It's sort of like you're on this very cloudy, sort of rainy day, but you're still feeling this joyous emotion inside of you. Carly Rae knows how to sort of bring that happy energy to the listener, and I appreciate it. A part of me wishes that the song was a bit longer because, you know, it was very nicely constructed, but, you know, I'll appreciate what I got. Track number 6, Beach House. Of course, you have everyone partying at the beach. Oh my god. He was trying to use you as a mistress. Yeah, you can't just treat us all as prey, you know? We're human beings. You can hear a few boys singing along this post-chorus, you know, after they're involved in the tune. There's a lot of funk infused within this track as well, you know? Really gets you grooving. And now we have, like, different boys singing all these lyrics as if they're the type of guys that Carly Rae has gone through already. Okay, that guy sounds like a fucking criminal. You need to maybe call the cops on him. Okay, so that was Beach House, and oh my goodness, this one is just fascinating. Carly Rae is singing about all these different guys that she's dated throughout her life, and they all have these weird issues, like this guy is a cheater, this guy is just broke as hell, this guy literally wants to kill me. It's a very funny sort of song, you know, and it's sort of like Carly Rae just pleading to all the guys in the world to just, you know, really find a way to conduct themselves better if they really want to find a nice girl. How guys shouldn't be treating girls as if they're prizes that they need to score, you know, they need to be treated like actual people. And Carly Rae is able to infuse a lot of humor within that track, you know. It's like she got all these different guys to sing about all these different insecurities they have, all these different issues they have, and it really allows them to be in on the joke. And of course, Carly has a great tempo going on with the track, you know, it's not too slow, not too fast, it's just at the right pace. It's very funky, and it's very, very, you know, groovy, and, you know, it really gets you in like a giggly sort of mood with all the lyrical content. So I give her props for that tune. Track number 7, Bends. This one is very calming right now. She's just so swept up by this guy that she can't even believe that, you know, she has this close of a connection. This one is just so relaxing. You know, it's like you're on a cloud just sleeping, you know? Woo! That harmonizing right there at the end of the line, you know, just elevates you in a way. Those different notes coming from the synths, you know, it just puts you in a real sort of tranquil sort of spirit. It's almost like you're embodying the sun itself. Okay, so that was Ben's, and yo, that must be the most relaxing song we have on this LP so far. Carly Rae is singing about how she didn't have a particularly swell day, but now that she's home or supposedly on vacation with this guy and they're laying in bed with each other, you know, she's in a much more relaxed state. And it seems like they're really building a chemistry with each other at this point, you know? there's this one line on the chorus where she says, "After all the clouds have dried, here's a jar of tears I've cried." It's sort of like she's saying, now that all of my bad days are behind me and I'm sort of working on my inner demons, I can open up to you and be extremely vulnerable, I can share with you all the hardships I've endured so that, we can really be open with each other and just share some honesty. Of course, the synths are just putting you in this very relaxed state where you're just sleeping on your bed or just lying on your sheets and you're just being elevated as Carly Rae is just singing about how ecstatic she is that this guy is actually building a connection with her. The beat is very calming and Carly Rae just really knows how to control her voice so that, it's not too loud, it's just at the right volume. I am very impressed by this track and yeah, this one is going to be very, very amazing to revisit. Track number 7, Western Wind. Great imagery, we're chilling by the mountain next to each other. It's sort of like, are you feeling the wind from all sorts of directions, the wind that I'm sort of projecting, so to say. Ooh, those pianos right there just snuck up on me. And they sound gorgeous. For real. I will say, this does have a sort of spring feel to it, with all the flowers blooming and whatnot. Give me that high note, Carly. The guitar, gorgeous, on point. That short little percussion right there, very, very clear. Okay, so that was Western Wind, and I gotta say, that one is very, very on point. It feels very majestic with its production and its lyricism. It sort of illustrates this picture where Carly Rae and this guy are just chilling with each other in the mountains during the spring in some sort of like resort or, special like a vacation house. And Carly Rae is just really taking in the intimacy that her and her lover are feeling. I'm coming at you from all sorts of directions, sort of like the wind during the spring, it's very relaxing and it's at the right temperature and it's just something that could put you in a very easy sort of sense. And you could say that it's very different from what Carly Rae produces on the regular, she's known for dance pops, but this is like a lot more acoustic in a sense. I don't know if acoustic is the right word, but it's definitely something that isn't sort of electro, if you would say. All the instruments are just so nicely composed, like the pianos, the guitars, even the drumming is just so clear, it's crystal clear. Everything is just so nicely mixed that it really does create this calming atmosphere where Carly Rae and this guy are just chilling together in this vacation house and just having the ball. You could tell that Carly Rae is experimenting with this for the first time and taking a chance on it, and she produced good results, I gotta say, I think you stuck the landing. Track number 9, So Nice. Joyous little la-la-laing. I love it. You just cancel out every other dude, you number one, boy. I feel like there's an R&B influence with this track, The way it's just like so calming and like, very sexual in a kind of way. Just the drum tapping and the electric guitar, just puts you in that good spirit, You're making this guy sound very special, Carly Rae, He's like a one-of-a-kind sort of dude that you can't find anywhere else. Now we're kind of breaking it down a little bit on this outro. I'm digging it. Okay, so that was So Nice, and I think it was better than nice. It was fucking fantastic. This song very much, I think, encapsulates, the whole, like, tone of the record. Carly Rae is singing about this guy that she's just head over heels for, and it just makes her feel all fluttery inside. And while she does have a lot of personal demons to sort of fight and sort of like deal with at times, she feels a lot more confident in confronting them because she has this wonderful guy that she can spend time with. You can sort of picture her just skipping down the sidewalk in the city, just feeling so enamored by this dude, and like nothing is gonna like break up her flow because she's just that in love with him. I think I said before that there was some R&B infused, but I think it's a lot more akin to disco. You know, she takes a little bit of disco from the past, combines it with elements of the present, you know, dance pop that she sort of worked with before, and just puts it together, creating this beautiful sound. The slick guitar on the chorus, along with the drumming and the glossy pianos, it just really creates this feeling of love that you just experience for the first time or have never experienced in your life. But yeah, this one definitely is a favorite of mine. I am so impressed by it. It's just amazing. Carly Rae, you are just knocking it out of the park with So Nice. Track number 10, Bad Thing Twice. Ooh. Major 80s vibe with this song right now. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, much? She's sort of like making another effort with this guy and fearing that it's gonna fail again. Referencing her own song there. I have to admire the drumming on this song. It's very clear and distinct. It's very nicely mixed, you know? It really brings the whole track together. Ooh, those little backing vocals right there. You know, really hit me nicely. Little guitar solo to close us out on this tune. Okay, so that was Bad Thing Twice, and yeah, I think that one is pretty enjoyable. From what I'm gathering, Carly Rae is singing about this relationship that didn't sort of work out, but she might want to like jump into it again, and it's sort of like, oh, am I going to do a bad thing twice? Like, is this going to be the same mistakes that we encountered on the first try? You know, like, it's sort of like she's reflecting on all the different, like, pitfalls that this relationship can take, and it's sort of like a question to her at this point. We don't know what exact decision she makes, but, you know, it sort of like leaves us on this cliffhanger, and it just leaves us, you know, thinking about what could have possibly happened. Of course, I really like the slick bass line and the guitar solo at the end, and the backing vocals do a lot of good work, and, you know, synth, I really have to admire the synths, you know, really like bring all the melodies together. It's a really fun track, and I gotta admire what she has going on here. Track number 11, Shooting Star. A lot of funk again. Got another funky track going on here. Okay, we are very reliant on the auto-tune with this track. Very incredible rhymes right there on the chorus, you know? Something that can really catch on with listeners. Ooh, that little drum roll right there, you know? Nice little touch. Ooh, little high note right there. Keeping the party going, you know? Bringing the party back, if you would say. Okay, so that was Shooting Star, and that one is a very standout sort of track right there. Carly Rae is singing about how she caught this wonderful guy that she could spend a lot of time with, you know, dancing through the night, or dancing through the night. And he's almost akin to a shooting star, you know, that's how greatly he stands out. He's just shimmering in the night, and he's just that glamorous in appearance and personality, and Carly Rae just cannot resist, you know, trying to make something happen with him. It's a wonderfully written chorus, like, it's physical, it's natural, my spiritual, my animal. You know, like, she just really knows how to catch you just right there. Although I do have a major critique for the song, in that I don't think that the autotune was very necessary. Like, Carly Rae could have sung this easily in her normal voice. She didn't need to rely on the autotune in order to, like, really capture the spirit of the song. At times it can also get a little bit annoying, if I gotta be honest. I don't think it drags down the song too much, but, you know, it is a little bit of a blunder. Of course, there's a lot of cutesy lyrics going on here, and the production really captures that glossy feeling. I do think that the song is pretty decent, although the autotune, once again, kind of drags it a little. But overall, I would say it's fine. Track number 12, Go Find Yourself, or whatever. Okay, we got a bit of an acoustic guitar going on right now. Those backing vocals are just so angelic, but they're very sorrowful, you know? Okay, we're bringing in the drumming, you know, to sort of like really enhance the tune. Like, this has to be like the most stripped down song she's ever released an audio recording of. Like, it is just insane. Okay, we got funky guitar solo during this bridge. That line is just so sad to listen to. Okay, so that was Go Find Yourself or Whatever. And wow, that song is just so heartbreaking. So in this song, it appears that the guy is sort of leaving Carly Rae to sort of like go on this sort of like journey to find himself, this spiritual journey or something. And she is just very, very upset that their relationship is just sort of like shattered. It's growing apart. And to really display that emotion, she makes this a lot more stripped down, you know, with acoustic guitars and, you know, authentic pianos and all that. Much like Western Wind, this is something very different that we haven't heard from Carly Rae before. She's trying out a new sound to see how it fits her, and I think she's pulling it off pretty well. And the instruments are also nicely constructed, like, you know, the high-pitched keys and the drumming and all that, you know, it just really gets you, you know, to really like shed those tears. I even like the song title, like Go Find Yourself or Whatever. It's sort of like when she adds that whatever to the end of the title, it's sort of displaying how crestfallen she is that this romance has, you know, evaporated. She really does want the best for this guy, but she's also just very upset that they couldn't make things work out between them. And hopefully he will come back someday and, you know, they will make things work again. Like, it really does leave you in this very empty sort of state, and I think that's just brilliant of her. And now we are finally ready for the closing track of the album. Track number 13, The Loneliest Time, featuring Rufus Wainwright. Interesting how the title track is serving as the finale, so this might be something very special. Okay, we got a slow build up right now. Harmonizing like pros. I gotta appreciate it. Woo! The orchestral performance on point. Loving it. Damn, we just going full 70s with this track, you know? We just going epic mode with the disco. Okay. Rufus singing wonderfully about this nightmare he had. Ooh! Ooh! That little melody right there. That futuristic melody. Really something special. She's sort of monologuing here on the bridge. I think I hear a car driving while the music is playing. You know, give little good framing device left. And now they waking up together, you know, after spending a glorious night with each other, you know, giving us that happy little ending. Loving it. Okay, so that was The Loneliest Time, and yo, pretty epic way to end the record, I gotta say. This appears to be the only song on the album that has a featured artist, Rufus Wainwright. I have not heard of him before, but he really did a good job here with his vocal performance, you know, playing the opposite of Carly Rae, you know, serving as the boyfriend in this narrative. And, you know, it really is a lot more uplifting than the previous song we got, and it sort of ends on a much happier note because, you know, Carly Rae and Rufus have been at a disconnect for quite some time, but they've just been lonely, you know, feeling apart, and now they're just gonna make it up to each other by just spending one glorious night together. They've made some mistakes in their relationship, you know, they may have gotten carried away with certain pursuits, you know, which is what Carly Rae alludes to in the bridge, you know, we reached the moon but got lost in space, and, you know, they felt pretty bad about it, but now they're just gonna make it up to each other, just skip the apologies and just, you know, spend some time with each other. And of course, once again, Carly Rae knows how to work that 70s sound with the funk and the monologue and the groove, the tempo. She really does sort of like encapsulate that whole decade. Like, she could have killed if this got released like 50 years ago. This was a great song to end the album on, and I'm glad that Rae Jepsen saved the title track for last. With all that said, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to listen to the album a second time, then I'll come back and give you all my final thoughts, so bear with me. Alright, I am back and I'm ready to give you my final thoughts on Rae Jepsen's The Loneliest Time. As I stated at the beginning, CRJ really knows how to be consistent with her pop tunes, and unsurprisingly, she delivered with this album. She gives us all the fun pop tunes that she's known for, making us get up and shake it on the dance floor. We see that with Surrender My Heart and Talking to Yourself. However, she doesn't exactly stay in that direction from start to finish. Carly decides to experiment with other sounds, often creating retro songs reminiscent of the 70s and 80s, like So Nice and Bad Thing Twice. Sometimes she just diverts from the sound altogether and goes for something more acoustic, like Go Find Yourself or whatever, or more folksy, like Western Wind. With any CRJ album, the lyrical content carries just as much weight. Carly finds herself trying to pursue new love and worrying where the path can lead to. She grapples with all the demons that she holds inside, but chooses to take that leap of faith as she could possibly build a meaningful relationship with this man. There are moments where she fails to make the relationship work and has to separate from her partner, whether it's with disdain, like on Talking to Yourself, or with total anguish, like on Go Find Yourself or whatever. In each moment, every emotion feels authentic, thanks to Rae's amazing singing performances. It's also elevated by the nicely mixed production, including pianos, electric guitars, drumming, and of course the synths. There are certain moments that I find the production to be a bit wonky, like when she tries to get on her 100 gecs on Shooting Star, but that's just a minor bump in the road. When I listen to this LP, I imagine partners lying in bed, comforting each other on a relaxing spring day, and just basking in each other's affection. Carly could put anyone in the spirit of falling in love, or comfort them when they're growing distant from their partners. And the way CRJ offers that warmth to her listeners is just so unmatched. I give The Loneliest Time a 9 out of 10. My favorite songs would have to be So Nice, Talking to Yourself, and Western Wind. My least favorites would have to be Joshua Tree, Shooting Star, and Far Away, but Far Away is only by default. And that just about does it. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this album listen. I had so much fun with this record. I hope you did too. If you want to follow me on social media, be sure to check out my Twitter, my Twitch, and my TikTok. The links are going to be in the description. And that's where we wrap up for today. My name is Gabriel Jones, and the sun may be setting, but I hope you were able to soak up those drops. Take care.